So I have a book here called Constitutional Law as Fiction: Narratives and the Rhetoric of Authority by a man named LaRue. Okay, you can get this book, I believe, online. And he calls James Boyd White his mentor and friend. And there's a lot of books out by James Boyd White, which you can read, and they're really good. And they're not the usual pro-government law books. So here, Mr. LaRue says in his preface, I owe the most to the good citizens of Mississippi, both black and white, who taught me what was at stake. By the time that those in the department and in Mississippi had finished with me, I knew enough to know that something was wrong with what I had learned at Harvard. He's a Harvard Law graduate. In his first chapter, Telling Stories, he says the title of this book, Constitutional Law as Fiction, summarizes my thesis, which is that the proud towers of the law are built not on the level bedrock of fact, but on the perplexed terrain of fiction, that judicial opinions are filled with stories that purport to be factual, but that instead are fictional, and furthermore, that these fictions could not be eliminated without crippling the legal enterprise. By the way, I acknowledge the ambiguity of fact, fiction, and story, but in due process, I hope to explain that I'm what I mean by these words. So, of course, we've learned in other videos, if you've been watching, that words are debatable as to their meaning. And then I just point you back to Mr. Cooley's statement in the congressional debates in 1867, where he asks Lincoln, why, Mr. President, what is a legal state government? Okay, if you ask LaRue, he would say it's a fiction. Is it a government cooked up for a state here in Congress, or is it a government that the people of the state make for themselves?